All right, let's explore this further now and speak to Mbelenhle Mthethwa, SABC News Reporter, who's been tracking developments in this particular story and joins us in studio now. Mbelenhle, of course, lots is being said about this. You listen to the ANC's briefing. They paint a picture of how things have been going well in the past year. They talk about how officials were arrested for corruption. They talk about service delivery. They've delivered water, etc., and all of that. And then you still have civil society that says the city, in terms of service delivery, is collapsing. And then you have the outgoing mayor who says that at some point he felt like his job was stifled. Which is it?
Well, certainly, I think a lot of the time when, I think you've seen this many times when we've had a motion of no confidence in the various municipalities where service delivery is always cited as a reason for the mayor in question to be axed. And yet again, we are seeing a rehashing of this. And this reminds me of Dr. Mpho Phalatse's words on the last day after losing a no confidence motion, where she said, you know, people look for any reason to oust you, and it would seem as though, you know, people will find different reasons and people will speak from different perspectives. And yes, as part of the government of local unity rather, the ANC will talk about the successes that they have managed to achieve. And of course, as the leader or the convenient leader of the government of local unity, because Gwamanda was indeed elected with the help and the backing of the ANC and the EFF. He will indeed also speak of, you know, how he did well and what he managed to do well. And at this point, he talks about governance issues and also securing the city's financial future. We will remember that there is that 2.5 billion rand loan that has been approved for infrastructure spending. But he also goes back to the kind of municipality he inherited when the government of local unity came into power. And at the time, service providers had not been paid to the extent that JMPD found its fleet grounded by the service provider due to non-payment. We also know and understand that at the time, SMMEs were not paid, and the accusation, you will remember that the first no confidence motion against Dr. Mpho Phalatse was brought by minority parties who believed that the city of Johannesburg was not spending enough on service delivery or the delivery of services. However, they were spending a lot of money on legal fees, and that was the allegation at the time, and this was the reason that they had used to then bring forward a no confidence motion, because services had completely collapsed. In this instance, it's unclear. It seems as though the qualification question has always come up in many questions, because from the first time we spoke to Gwamanda, people wanted to ask about his qualifications, and in many interviews he's always rubbished those allegations, saying that, you know, he represents the young child in Soweto, and that, you know, him being able to ascend to such a high position in society is a message to the young boy in Soweto that they too can ascend to those kind of positions.
So what's next for him, and when is the city likely to elect its new mayor?
Well, according to the briefing that was held by the ANC, it would seem as though they would like to do it as soon as possible and as early as the end of the week, Friday, to be exact. But it would seem as though, based on an interview that we had just last Thursday, and the story went out on Saturday here on SABC News, is that they will not leave Gwamanda out in the cold, and that is a promise that was made by the regional spokesperson Sasabona Mangwanye, where he said that the coalition that is the government of local unity is always going to be thankful to the minority bloc, given the fact that they were the ones who came forward with the no confidence motion, and they assisted the government, the formation of the government of local unity, and they cannot abandon them now that there is a party that is due to join them. You know that there are conversations between the ANC and Action SA for them to join in on the government of of local unity. However, Action SA has allegedly made claims that they want the position of the Speaker, which is now currently occupied by a member of the minority party. Parties that the ANC says that they will not abandon and that they will not throw under the bus because they have a party with a majority or more seats than the minority parties. And they're also mentioning that Gwamanda will not be worse off and will not be thrown into the streets, but they will find a position. And if we make any comparisons, you remember that in the city of Ekurhuleni, the former mayor, Sivuyile Ngudwana, was then given an MMC position in the shared corporate services portfolio. So something similar might in fact happen in the city of Johannesburg again. As you know, the MMC for finance position will be vacant after Dada Morero is then elected as mayor.
Yet another council sitting for you. Thank you so much for your time, Mbelenhle.